If you're over 60, you might be missing out on senior travel rights airlines won't remind you about. Priority assistance, hidden discounts, and even compensation in certain situations. Today, I'm revealing 10 forgotten senior travel rights most people never use, but absolutely should. Let's start with the big one, the secret that hits airlines right where it hurts, their wallet. The scenario is painfully common. Your flight gets hit with a huge delay, or even worse, is canceled completely. You head to the gate agent, and they immediately start talking about rebooking you on a flight that leaves 8 hours from now, or offering you a travel voucher that expires in a year. They make it sound like these are your only choices, a generous gift from them to you. This is exactly where your knowledge becomes power. Here's the secret. If an airline cancels your flight or causes a significant delay, and you choose not to travel on their rebooked flight, you are entitled to a full, prompt, cash refund under Department of Transportation, DOT, rules. A significant delay is now clearly defined. That's 3 hours for a domestic flight and 6 hours for an international one. They cannot force you to take a travel credit. A voucher locks your money with the airline, often with expiration dates and other restrictions. A cash refund puts your money back in your bank account where it belongs. So, here's your action plan. The moment you're notified of a cancellation or a delay that will cross that 3 or 6 hour mark, calmly approach the customer service desk. When they offer you a voucher, you're going to say these words: "Thank you for the offer, but since my flight is significantly delayed, I'm choosing not to travel. I am aware of my rights under DOT regulations and am requesting a full cash refund to my original form of payment." You have to use the phrase cash refund. Don't just say refund. Citing the DOT is the magic key. It signals that you're an informed passenger who can't be pushed around. The agent's attitude will often shift immediately because they know denying a legitimate request could lead to big government fines. Make sure to document everything. Screenshot the cancellation notice on your phone. Note the time the delay was announced. If you get any pushback, ask for a complaint resolution official, or CRO. We'll talk more about this person later, but every airline has to have one available. This isn't about being difficult, it's about being firm, informed, and claiming a right that's federally protected. But here's where most seniors miss out on something even simpler. Boarding often turns chaotic at the gate. For many seniors, rushing lines and jostling can feel unsafe and stressful. Instead of worrying about bins or being hurried, remember this: you can request pre-boarding when you need extra time to board or stow items. It's simple, appropriate, and sets up a calmer start to your flight. The secret airlines don't advertise is that many seniors have the right to pre-board. The Air Carrier Access Act, ACAA, is a law that bans discrimination based on disability in air travel, and the law defines disability very broadly. It includes any passenger who needs a little extra time or help with boarding or stowing luggage. If you feel you need a moment to get down the jet bridge without being rushed, to settle into your seat, or to lift your bag, you are entitled to pre-board. Here's how you use this right. Don't wait to be asked. When you get to the gate, just walk up to the agent's desk and say, "I'd like to request pre-boarding, please." If they ask why, a simple, "I need a little extra time to get settled," is all you need to say. You are not required to provide your medical history. More often than not, they'll just nod, check your ticket, and tell you to listen for the pre-boarding call. That simple request changes everything. You board a quieter cabin, move at a safe, unhurried pace, and settle in without pressure. Pre-boarding reduces crowd stress, lowers the risk of bumps or falls, and gives you time to get comfortable and organized before general boarding begins. It's not a special favor, it's a right designed to make travel safer and easier. There's no feeling quite like watching the last bag come down the baggage carousel, and it isn't yours. Your clothes, your toiletries, your medication, gone. Or maybe your bag does show up, but it looks like it lost a fight with a lawnmower. The airline's first response is often a shrug, a complicated form, and a vague promise to look into it, hoping you'll just give up. But here's a secret backed by law. Airlines are financially responsible for your checked bags. For domestic flights in the U.S., Department of Transportation rules make airlines liable for up to $3,800 per passenger for lost, delayed, or damaged bags. For most international flights, a treaty called the Montreal Convention applies, with a limit of around $1,700 per passenger. They have to compensate you not just for the bag, but for what's inside. Your move starts the second you realize your bag is missing or busted. Do not leave the airport. Go straight to the airline's baggage service office and file a Property Irregularity Report, PIR. This piece of paper is crucial. Get a copy of the report and the agent's name. If your bag is just delayed, the airline must reimburse you for reasonable, essential items you need while you wait. That means you can go buy a coat if you land somewhere cold, or get toiletries and a change of clothes. Just keep every single receipt. Be reasonable. They won't pay for a designer shopping spree, but they must cover your necessities. If your bag is declared officially lost, usually after 5 to 14 days, or is damaged, you'll file a claim for its value and the contents. This is where a little prep work pays off. Before your next trip, take 5 minutes to snap a few photos of the contents of your suitcase. It creates an invaluable record. If you have receipts for expensive items, even better. When you file your claim, include that evidence. Don't just accept the airline's first lowball offer. Remind them of their liability limit and show your proof. You're entitled to the replacement value of your things, not what they'd fetch at a garage sale. But this is where things really start to get easier. For many, airport security is the absolute worst part of traveling, and it can be especially tough for seniors. The long lines, the confusing rules, the pressure to move fast, the bending and lifting, it's a lot. If you have a medical condition, an implant, or use a walker, the anxiety can be overwhelming. Here is a game-changing secret that almost nobody knows about. The TSA has a dedicated helpline called TSA Cares, and it's your personal airport concierge service. It's a direct action service designed to help travelers with disabilities, medical conditions, or other needs. By calling them, you can request a personal escort through the entire security process. Here's how it works. At least 72 hours before your flight, you or a family member can call the TSA Cares toll-free number. You'll explain your situation. For example, my mother is 80, uses a walker, has a pacemaker, and gets anxious in crowds. TSA Cares will coordinate with the airport, and when you arrive at security, a designated passenger support specialist will be there to meet you. This specialist is trained to help with courtesy and respect. They can open a dedicated lane for you, letting you bypass the longest lines. They'll calmly explain what to do, help you with your bins, and if you have a medical device, they know the exact protocols to screen you with dignity, often using a simple metal detector or conducting a private screening. You won't be rushed or yelled at. This amazing service is completely free. Using TSA Cares transforms the security checkpoint from an obstacle course into a guided, manageable experience, giving you priceless peace of mind. Now this next one is a game changer for comfort. Airline seats just keep shrinking, and for many seniors, it's more than a comfort issue. It's a health risk. If you have arthritis, a bad knee, or a fused joint, being crammed into a tiny seat can be agony and even increase the risk of blood clots. You see those extra legroom seats, but they always come with a hefty fee. Well, here's a secret. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, you might be entitled to a better seat without paying an extra dime. The law says an airline must provide a specific type of seat if it's needed to accommodate a passenger's disability. This could be a bulkhead seat if you have a fused or immobilized leg that you can't bend, or an aisle seat if you need to get up frequently for a medical reason. The key is that you need a legitimate medical reason. You don't have to be in a wheelchair to qualify. For instance, not being able to bend your leg due to a recent surgery or a chronic condition is a perfect example. Here's how you claim this right. The best time to act is right after you book your ticket. Don't call the main reservations number. Call the airline's disability assistance line. Tell the agent that you require a specific seat as a disability accommodation under the Air Carrier Access Act. Be ready to explain what you need and why, like, I need a bulkhead seat because my left leg is in a brace and cannot bend. As long as a seat like that is available in your ticket class, they have to give it to you at no extra charge. If you couldn't arrange it ahead of time, you can still ask at the check-in counter or the gate. If the agent gives you trouble, ask for the Complaint Resolution Official, CRO, who is specially trained in these rules and has the power to reassign seats for this exact purpose. Here's something a lot of people don't realize until it's too late. Traveling with a spouse, child, or friend brings a huge sense of security, but in the age of basic economy, airlines are notorious for splitting up parties who book tickets together unless you pay extra to select seats. This can be really unsettling if you rely on your travel partner for help. Here's another powerful secret from the Air Carrier Access Act, ACAA. If you need to be seated next to a companion for assistance, the airline has to make it happen. This isn't just for parents and kids. If you need help because of a disability, and remember, that's defined broadly, the airline can't just scatter you across the cabin. This assistance could be for anything from needing help to get to the lavatory, taking medication, or having someone communicate with the crew for you because of a hearing impairment. The trick is to be proactive. When you book, make sure both tickets are on the same reservation. Then call the airline's disability assistance desk. Explain the situation clearly. I am traveling with my daughter, who will be assisting me with my mobility during the flight. Under the ACAA, I need to be seated next to her. The airline is required to give you an adjoining seat, and they can't charge you for it. If you get to the gate and find you've been separated, don't panic. Go to the gate agent immediately. Don't wait until you're on the plane. Explain that you require seating next to your companion for disability-related assistance. If the agent seems unsure, ask for the Complaint Resolution Official, CRO. The CRO knows the law and can reassign seats to make it happen, ensuring you have the support you need right beside you. Now, if you travel with support or assistance, this one is critical. For many seniors, a service animal isn't a pet. It's a lifeline, helping with everything from vision impairment to medical alerts. The thought of being denied boarding or forced to put this critical partner in cargo is a nightmare. The powerful secret is that the Air Carrier Access Act gives ironclad protection for legitimate service animals. Airlines are legally required to let a service animal accompany you in the cabin, free of charge, and they can't ban specific breeds. They can only deny transport if the animal is out of control or acting aggressively. The key to a smooth trip is having your ducks in a row. The Department of Transportation has a standardized Service Animal Air Transportation form. You can find it on the DOT or airline's website. Fill it out as soon as you book your flight and submit it to the airline online at least 48 hours before you travel. This form is where you confirm your animal is a trained service animal, is healthy, and is well behaved. On your travel day, bring a printed copy of the form with you, just in case. Also, be sure your animal is on a leash or in a harness at all times. While the rules for emotional support animals have changed, the rights for travelers with trained service animals are as strong as ever. By following the official DOT process, you eliminate any guesswork. You aren't asking for permission, you are informing the airline of your legal right, ensuring your vital assistant can stay by your side. And this next one might be the most profitable one on this entire list. This might be the most profitable secret in the travel rulebook. You arrive at the gate on time with a valid ticket only to hear the dreaded announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, this flight is oversold. The airline gambled that a few people wouldn't show up, and they lost. Their first move is to ask for volunteers, often starting with a lowball offer like a $200 voucher. What they don't want you to know is the true value of your seat. Here's the secret. The DOT has very specific and very generous rules for compensating passengers who are involuntarily denied boarding, that is, bumped against their will. You are entitled to cold, hard cash compensation. The amount you're owed depends on how long you're delayed. For a domestic flight, if they get you to your destination between 1 and 2 hours late, they owe you 200% of your one-way fare, up to $775. If they get you there more than 2 hours late, they owe you 400% of your one-way fare, up to $1,550. The rules are similar for international flights, just with longer delay times. When they start asking for volunteers, you can use this knowledge to negotiate a much better deal. But the real power comes if they try to bump you involuntarily. If an agent tells you that you won't be boarding, your first question is, why? If it's because of overbooking, you are owed compensation. The airline must give you a written statement of your rights and pay you right there at the airport. If an agent tries to offer you a voucher, firmly state, I know I am entitled to involuntary denied boarding compensation under DOT rules, and I am requesting payment in cash as required. That one sentence could be worth over $1,000. Now let's talk about something that can completely save your energy at the airport. For many seniors, the sheer size of a modern airport is the biggest hurdle. The walk from the check-in desk to a faraway gate can be a quarter mile or more. It can be exhausting and painful. Many people just tough it out because they think asking for a wheelchair is only for people with permanent disabilities. This brings us to a crucial secret. You have an absolute right to free wheelchair assistance from the curb to your airplane seat, thanks to the Air Carrier Access Act. Think of it as a smart travel strategy, not a sign of weakness. It's a tool to conserve your energy for your actual vacation. You are entitled to this service even if you don't use a wheelchair in your daily life. If you have trouble walking long distances, have a heart condition, or are just worried about the physical strain, you qualify. An airline representative will meet you at the curb, help you check in, guide you through security, often in a dedicated line, take you to your gate, and help you board. The same service is there when you land. The best way to arrange this is to request it when you book your ticket, or by calling the airline's disability desk at least 48 hours in advance. But even if you don't, you can still request it on the day of travel at the check-in counter. They are legally required to provide it. It is customary and greatly appreciated to tip the attendant a few dollars, as they often work for very low wages. And finally, this last one is all about your dignity and control. Let's circle back to the security checkpoint, but this time, let's focus on your dignity. The standard process can feel invasive, and for seniors with medical devices like insulin pumps or pacemakers, it creates a lot of anxiety about alarms or damaging equipment. You may also just be uncomfortable going through a full-body scanner. The final secret is that you have the right to control your screening experience. Specifically for seniors age 75 and older, the TSA has modified procedures. You're allowed to leave on your shoes and a light jacket during screening. This isn't a favor, it's the official policy. Furthermore, any traveler, regardless of age, can opt out of the body scanner. It's your right. If you're directed to one, you can simply tell the officer, "I'd like to opt out, please." You don't need to give a reason. The alternative is a pat-down, and you can request it be done by an officer of your gender in a private area, with a companion present. If you're traveling with medically necessary liquids like insulin or prescription syrups, they are exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule. Just declare them to the TSA officer at the start of screening and keep them separate. The most important tool you have is communication. Tell the officer up front, "I have a metal knee implant," or "I'm wearing an insulin pump and cannot go through the scanner." This puts you back in control of your personal space and your dignity. CTA in conclusion. And there you have it, 10 federally protected rights that can completely change how you travel. From getting cash for a delayed flight to having a personal escort through security, these aren't loopholes. They're the rules of the game. The airlines might not broadcast them, but they are legally required to follow them. So, make a list of these rights, put it in your carry-on. The next time you fly, you won't be just hoping for the best. You'll be an informed traveler, ready to assert your rights with calm confidence. If you found this information empowering, please give this video a like. It tells YouTube that more people need to see it. And don't forget to click subscribe and ring that notification bell for more insider travel strategies that save you time, money, and stress. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 rights surprised you the most? Have you ever successfully used one of these secrets? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience could help another senior traveler.